Okay. Well, I like Sam Neill a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Jurassic Park, I like him from Jurassic Park.
I liked in Jurassic Park where he just mogs that little kid for laughing in the very beginning. The little kid in the beginning is like, "This is gay. It's like a turkey," and he's like in front of a bunch of adults, and he like takes a
raptor claw
out, and is like, "Do you know what it would do to you? It would slice you open, and your innards would fall." And he's doing this like a 7-year-old kid.
That kid was a douchebag,
dope, though, right? Like, I feel like that kid got a really good experience.
Yeah. He did. Or
he'll remember about the raptor forever. And
why didn't they arrest John Hammond at the end of that movie?
They probably should have, because he was
rich guy?
Yeah. It was his island. He did that to them all. Like if when we were on that helicopter getting out of there, and John Hammond takes a moment to turn around with his stupid cane and like look back at the island and like, "Oh, my dream didn't come true," and then he gets on the helicopter with us, I'd have kicked his old ass out. John didn't make it. John didn't fucking make it. Fuck him. He sent us to this hell island to be preyed upon by these super dangerous dinosaurs.
That's all true. I don't know. I'm giving him too much credit.
I'd be mad.
Internally for intent, right? Like he intended to do something really dope. Just they bred. Oopsie doodle.
And practice, it didn't go too well. Poor Sam Jackson got eat up.
Well, I don't know who that is. So
Samuel L. Jackson. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yeah. I don't remember him in the movie.
You know who else?
I remember Newman.
Newman got eat up.
Yeah, Sam Jackson's the main character in the movie. He does get killed. His arm is the one that's left hanging on the chain link fence at one point that the blonde finds. She's like, "Ah!" Like freaks out because the arm's there.
I don't know about main character. I'd remember him if he was a main.
Fair enough. He's no Sam Neill. He's not one of those little.
I remember as a little kid watching it, and like when they lowered that cow into the enclosure, like, it made me sad for the cow. Because I thought of all the cows I knew on my grandpa's farm and was like, "Oh man,
Photoshop!
Holy shit!" Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. That I haven't seen it in so long. I didn't know who this was when I watched it as a kid.
Well, it's
been 25 years since I've watched this movie. Probably.
I don't watch the sequels. I think the sequels are garbage. All that Chris Pratt stuff when he's riding a motorcycle flanked by velociraptors.
I watched one. I hated it. I didn't like how glib he was around the raptors. Respect them.
He respected them, I thought, but he tried to like domesticate them almost and be one of them. Yeah.
He put that Crocodile Dundee shit on him.
He tried to treat them like dogs, and it's like, no, these are more powerful than dogs. Be real. And they don't have feathers.
They do have feathers.
They don't even have feathers.
I don't know why you're such a featherist, because feathers don't make them less cool.
They make them less cool. They have to have scales. That's how I picture them in my head. And I don't care how much evidence comes out that proves me wrong. Dinosaurs did not have feathers. They weren't fucking birds. Birds are gay. Dinosaurs are cool.
Birds are gay.
Birds are gay.
They
Dinosaurs
sing.
are sick.
What's gay about birds?
They're weak. They have hollow bones.
They wear gloves.
That is lame, but like, it's not that birds inherently are gay. It's just like when you try and include birds in the dinosaur world, it's like, fuck off. Like, dinosaurs are sick.
Have you ever seen the terror bird, that gigantic pterodactyl type bird that lived 10,000, 20,000 years ago?
And
have you seen the picture of it next to a man for scale? Mm-hmm. It's big enough to eat you. Like,
its head doesn't make sense, like, as far as proportions go. It's like, how the fuck did this thing fly with all of its weight in that enormous, gigantic, scary head?
Hollow bones.
You've seen the body, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's 15 feet. It looks like a 15-foot tall bird, and it towers over a person in a way where if it saw you, it looks like it would peck you once and kill you.
And it would. It wouldn't even have to peck you. It could just.
There are Native American legends about terror birds doing exactly that, and some people theorize that maybe some of those terror birds lived long enough to rub shoulders with man, and so they had those stories. I think the same thing might be true about Sasquatch and the Gigantopithecus. I think that there are so many, especially in the Pacific Northwest, where Gigantopithecus bones or teeth, molars have been found up in Canada. There are lots of tribal legends about what essentially we would think of as Bigfoot.
Terror birds are pretty dope. I'm looking at them compared to an ostrich. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. You know what I think is I'm glad that blue whales exist right now. Blue whales apparently are the biggest animal ever to exist on this planet.
Yep.
And they're alive with us today.
That we know of, maybe there was it was a mega blue. I think
the blue whales are sick. That's really cool.
I don't remember the percentage, but they broke down like what percentage of bones get fossilized, and it's like 0.1% or something. It's very rare that something even becomes a fossil. So there's tons of animals that we will never have fossil evidence of.
If there was a place we were bad at finding fossils, it might be the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. the absolute hardest place to find them ever. Yeah. There could be awesome stuff down there.
Right.
Well, so when a whale dies, it's called a whale fall. When the body like sinks to the bottom, the carcass goes down there. It spawns an entire ecosystem of all sorts of anything from the little shrimp creatures to there's a whole food chain that's created by the whale fall. And then sometimes you have underwater landslides, right? Like when you have like tectonic plates move under the ocean, sometimes you have huge amounts of mud and sediment that are laid over. So, maybe that. Have you ever cleaned doves? That's incredibly easy. Doves,
that's the easiest cleaning I've ever done.
Doves are so tenderly made that our man hands, you just reach and grab its double breast and go, like a ninja from the 70s.
saw this in Indiana Jones. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's Kalima. Doves you can almost pop like this. Like you can almost explode them outward if you wanted to.
So the daily limit for doves, I don't remember, it's a dozen, maybe 16, maybe 15. Each man can kill that many per day. But you know what I mean? I can operate a shotgun, soaking everybody I grew up with. So we killed like 180 one day, and we were sitting there for an hour cleaning those things. But I remember my mom fried them up, and it was just a feast. It felt like a feast from olden times, because I think we had like hush puppies, and then just those dove balls. That's what you call them, dove, because you take the breast and wrap it up with the bacon and the cream cheese and jalapeno and stuff. It's so good. I've done it with quail as well. Quail's really good, but they're so tender. You don't need a knife. You don't need any tools. You just tear its double breast off of the bone with your bare hands. Maybe rinse it a little and then throw it in the pile of meat and just keep going.
Pheasant is just a big
Never
quail.
even seen one.
That cannot be true.
Maybe in Texas, but I don't think we have them down here. If we do, I've just never really seen one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's just as far as it tastes like a big quail.
Yeah.
Like a very teeny chicken.
I don't know my birds. I wake up every morning with like 12 vultures on my roof, and I'm like, how old do I look?
12 vultures. That's honestly kind of sick. What's dying so much around you that they're like, we need to take a break from munching?
I think it's actually that our house is in the middle of a big open field, so they have a nice view. Like they can see out. We have had a dead deer, but
they're roosting nearby, and they're sunning on your roof to get warm enough to take off. They roost in the woods nearby. They're up there getting warmed up in the morning, probably.
That makes sense.
Those things go so high. I always hear them talk about how far away they can smell carrion, and it's unbelievable. But they do find it. You ever hit one with your car?
No.
Fuck, I have.
I bet they explode.
They throw up on you on purpose. Like it's a defense mechanism to vomit on stuff, or maybe it's just like, let me get rid of this. I got to move fast. But I've been driving down the road, and one's like eating a skunk or something. I'm like, I do that George Costanza thing where I'm like, dude, I'm heading that way. You do you.
We have an agreement.
Yeah. I hit one with my windshield one time, vomited. It was disgusting. It didn't break the windshield though. I wasn't going fast enough, I guess.
Kyle makes a lot of sense about the sunning themselves today. So thermals, right? I've said this a million times, but I'll do it real quick. The sun does not heat the air. You would think it does. It does not. The air is colder as you get closer to the sun. The sun heats the ground, and then the ground heats the air. That's how that works. And what happens is there'll be like sort of spots where it's hotter than other spots. Maybe it's dry dirt. Maybe there's sand there or rock. Those things get extra hot. The roof, a subdivision, those things are hotter than like the trees outside the subdivision. Cool. So when I fly around on my paramotor and I'm like losing altitude, maybe the motor's off and I'm just trying to like fly around without a motor, I'll go to my house, which is the only hot thing in a giant field of grass. And it's called a known thermal is called the house thermal. Usually it's a big rock on the side of a mountain, but the house thermal in my area is my house. It's kind of a big roof, and there's always rising air above my house to catch and get some more altitude. Yeah. So I bet that's what the vultures are doing. Now that Kyle said it, I'm like, of course.
Yeah. I've shot vultures out of the air before flying with a rifle. You're not supposed to. It's
With a
Is that
rifle?
allowed? You're not supposed
Yeah.
to shoot rifles up in the air.
See,
regardless.
I tried to shoot a bat with a
That's what
22, and I don't know if I ever hit it. I know I missed a lot though.
I have shot a lot of birds out of the air with 22s. I've done it multiple times with witnesses. I've never done it without a witness, which is great because when you do, actually once I did. I shot a buzzard straight out of the air. He was flying slowly, just like way up there, and I shot him with a 22 rifle with a scope on it, and he immediately folded up dead and crashed all the way to the ground. It was so cool. But I've also shot birds out of the air flying around with a 22 pistol, just like and like shot them out of the air like that. I've done that multiple times with witnesses. When you do something cool, like you see it sometimes on like Reddit, some guy will he'll shoot a basketball shot and nobody saw him make it, and it's like, God damn, no one. But I was lucky. Every time I made one of those ridiculous shots like that, I was like, you saw that, right?
Witness.
Yeah. I want somebody to witness me when you do some cool shit. It doesn't. I'd rather not do it than do it without a witness.
Speaking of wildlife, I have a ton of clover in my backyard, and I like it. I think Woody and I are on the same page. I kind of like the look of
I'm cool
clover.
with it.
Yeah,
Sure.
It
You got
looks
bumblebees
more
out
like-
there?
Got bumblebees out there, and
fighting them?
neither of my I beat the shit out of them, and my both neighbors on either side of my house don't have as much clover as I do. And so what I've realized over the past couple of years is what that means is that I am like, my backyard is the bunny yard. And so all of the neighborhood bunnies are chilling in my yard all spring and summer. I walked out to my sunroom so I can kind of get a good view. I had to keep walking back because these guys have those prey eyes so they can fucking see you at anywhere for the most part, unless their ass is directly at you. And I was going to take a picture and send it to you guys, but then part of me was like, yeah, then they're going to see how much clover and bunny weeds are in my yard. And there were 3 bunnies hanging out at the same time. And there were cardinals that landed in the yard. Maybe, I don't think it's just the baseball team thing. Like we have a lot of cardinals here, and then a couple other like blue jays and things that I saw, and they were all like in the yard hanging out like a Disney movie. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm never ever spreading weed killer again. I want to be the bunny house, because the neighbors totally bereft of bunnies. I never see bunnies in their yard, but I have a ton of bunnies.
Female cardinals are brown.
Then maybe they were female cardinals. I don't know, because there's a couple cardinals that I notice on my back fence all the time, but they're the red kind, like the male kind.
Yeah.